Hi there guys, today I want to speak about some issues that I've been reading about, and those issues are lots of worried parents about their children that have ADHD or maybe have ADHD. And I've been reading on lots of social websites and blogs that a lot of parents are not really understanding what ADHD is about. I've been reading about lots of children that have issues and curiosity with fire, which is posing a safety risk on the household and the families that live there. Basically, lots of children are generally anyway curious about fire or insects or other things that they shouldn't be touching around the house, the cooker. Mostly this is a normal behaviour of most children that tend to want to play with things they shouldn't play with because it's cool and they're not allowed to touch it, and the desire to touch it is even more intensified with the fact that they're not allowed to touch it because they're too young. But basically, there's nothing wrong with having a fire curiosity. What you need to do is basically try your best to educate your child. But what I've been reading lately is some parents have been concerned that their children have been playing with fire in a very dangerous way around the house and burning stuff they shouldn't be burning and putting the whole family in danger. Basically, this is not an ADHD trait. ADHD is what it is attention deficit hyperactive disorder, which is basically most, say, children and adults tend to want to be in the middle of the attention and tend to want to be seen basically in all different ways and forms. The deficit is the fact that you can't really help what's happening, and it's hard to control what you're doing without really some good self-control. Hyperactivity. Basically, hyperactivity compulsiveness is a fact of running around and hard to take control of yourself, and especially when you're a kid, you're hyper anyway. You see most kids that don't have ADHD out and about or at home, they all misbehave, they all run around like crazy or don't clean up their rooms. Cleaning up the room is boring, playing with your stuff is fun, and this obviously intensifies if you've got ADHD and you can't really stick to a task that maybe you might pull out, all different toys, cars and board games, and start drawing, and all the child is doing is following their desires in their brain, which is happening at the same time. If they're playing with the car, then they think, that'd be cool. I can draw that picture I wanted to draw, or I can draw that car, or I can do that, or yeah, I remember this last week, and they get straight on it. They get straight on the task to actually start to draw, and then they might get a bit bored of that because what they're doing is probably not going as they planned, and think, okay, I need to do this, so they go off and do something else, you know, and that's the traits of hyperactivity, basically. And other forms are that your child can get really frustrated as well, because literally the thoughts thinking about it in your child's brain are going fast anyway, and you have ADHD and hyperactivity, the thoughts are just spinning around in your head really, really fast, basically, and it's really hard to take control. And the best way I can describe that feeling is for, if say you're overwhelmed, so if you remember a time when you was like really happy, or like a Christmas time when you was extremely overwhelmed by all sorts of feelings, that you had lots of friends around and you're surprised and you don't know what to say, you don't know what to think, you're feeling overwhelmed. That's pretty much the nearest way I can describe a child's thought patterns when they're hypo anyway with ADHD, is that it is like that. It's overwhelming, but you get used to it because that's just the way it is. You're born with it, and that's the way your brain works. Yeah, the hyperactivity, that's what it is, basically. And then you have the concentration issues that obviously is a big fact of life, that you need concentration. And if you haven't got concentration, that can impose lots of problems. Again, concentration, hyperactivity, problems, they don't go hand in hand. They don't do very well. That's why you have your child jumping around from task to task and doing lots of things at once. And basically, that's your way of your child to cope. And you shouldn't necessarily say to your child, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. I think that's the time where you need to be actually quite supportive and actually try and get involved in what your child's doing instead of actually looking and think, oh my God, I need to clean it up. Basically, that's the way it is, and get used to it. There's no logic around it, and your child's not going to stop because you've told them to stop. In fact, that would necessarily actually put more stress on their brain and even make the child more confused, because now they're thinking about other things, about themselves and about letting their parents down, which brings up very strong emotions, which is quite hard as well. Children have it hard to express their emotions with ADHD, and that's a problem as well. So the concentration and hyperactivity don't really go hand in hand. And again, those two combinations in the academical years are actually posing a problem with the fact that they can't sit down in school, and their thought patterns are running wild because of their hyperactivity. And that's something which is not helping children in mainstream schools that don't have the help needed, basically. So hold on, I'm just going to see the camera time. Basically, yeah, that's why most children with ADHD and concentration issues do fall behind in school, because the tasks that are given to them do involve structure, do involve concentration, do involve actually organising tasks, which are a huge problem with people with ADHD. But they're not a problem if the child has something they do really like, and then that's when the hyper focus can come in, which is called in the ADHD world, is that your child can actually focus on something a little bit too much, which definitely poses as well a problem at the same time, because you need a good combination. But basically, I want to continue on the fact about weird behavioural issues like playing with fire that impose very bad safety issues for family. It's not an ADHD trait. Yes, the child is curious about fire, but this is not an ADHD trait. They might be silly and clumsy with fire, which is actually an ADHD issue, being clumsy with things around you. But if you feel in your gut, in your heart, that, okay, this is not good, they're setting fire to things all around the house, then the best thing I can, best advice I can give you is actually consult your doctor and a therapist. And because obviously there's underlying issues where the actual curiosity is actually taking over and is posing safety issues. So speak to your doctor about it, and actually demand that you need help, not let the doctor, it's just a phase. If you feel that your child is, putting a family and the house and everything in harm's way, then maybe you should actually record it, and then you have video proof that it's actually going on. So basically, yeah, ADHD is what it is: hyperactive concentration issues, and the cognitive part of a child's brain is not the same as a normal child. We think in a different way of life, and the best way I can say for help is actually to consider medication or therapy, or actually having a child speak to a therapist about their say fire issues, if they're curious about fire in an unhealthy way. And that's the advice I can give you, really. It sometimes upsets me that say some parents, which are understandingly, they're extremely worried about their child, about their future, that they are asking, oh, is that ADHD trait? It hurts me because I find it a little bit insulting, and it's not. And don't confuse ADHD with, yes, it's a psychological problem, but psychological doesn't mean that we're crazy. It's actually a problem that actually needs to be addressed as well if it poses problem on your life, and help is out there, therapy and different types of medication, and there's lots of forums you can go on and that help you. But basically I need to get off now, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.